Before history was written, something was already watching.
Empires rise, believing they are different, stronger, smarter, untouchable.
Everything flows through Babylon, gold, power, even souls.
Babylon does not conquer, it becomes necessary.
They look back at the ruins of history and quietly convince themselves, we have gone beyond that. They build systems that stretch across continents, networks that never sleep, structures so vast, so precise, so interconnected, that failure begins to feel impossible. And for a time, everything works. The lights stay on, the markets stay open, the signals never stop, the world moves faster than ever before. And slowly, confidence becomes certainty, certainty becomes pride, and pride becomes blindness. Because history does not repeat itself loudly, it repeats itself through patterns, and patterns never die. They evolve, they adapt, they return. Babylon was never just a city. It was a pattern, a system, a force woven into power, wealth, and control. A blueprint, and blueprints can be rebuilt. In any age, under any name, in any form people are willing to accept. Part 1 revealed the rise, the warnings hidden beneath success, the echoes repeating across time, but now we go deeper, beyond symbols, beyond interpretation, beyond what feels comfortable, into something far more unsettling. Because what if Babylon is not something you are waiting to see, but something you are already living inside? Revelation describes a system that controls trade, wealth, influence, a system that reaches across nations, a system no one can fully escape. And today, that description feels familiar. Goods move in seconds, money moves in milliseconds, decisions made in one place shake the entire world. A single event can ripple across continents. A single signal can move billions. This is not just commerce, this is dependence. A system so vast that if it shakes, everything shakes. A system so connected that if it breaks, everything breaks. Revelation says the merchants weep, not because they are surprised, but because they suddenly realize everything they built, everything they trusted, everything they depended on, was never truly theirs. It was sustained by something bigger, something fragile, something they did not control. This is not local influence, this is global entanglement, a web so deep, so wide, so invisible, that no one stands outside it. Everyone is connected, everyone is dependent, everyone is inside. But Babylon's power is not just economic, that is only the surface. Because controlling what people buy is powerful, but controlling what people desire is absolute. A Babylon does not conquer with force, it seduces. Through images that never stop, through stories that never end, through visions of what life should be, it shows you success, it defines beauty, it reshapes identity, and slowly, you begin to believe it. Not because you were forced to, but because you were surrounded by it. It becomes normal, it becomes expected, it becomes reality. Cultures begin to shift, traditions begin to fade, values begin to blur. What once felt wrong becomes acceptable. What once felt strange becomes familiar. What once was questioned becomes defended. And eventually, no one notices the change, because it happens slowly, silently, completely. This is influence at its highest level, invisible, irresistible, total. And then a detail appears, small, almost hidden. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it, the speed. Revelation does not describe a slow collapse, it describes a moment, 1 hour, one single hour, one moment, everything works. The next, everything stops. No warning, no preparation, no time to react. Just silence. So the question becomes unavoidable. What kind of system collapses in 1 hour? Not a simple one, not a local one. Only a system where everything is connected, where every part depends on every other part, where failure spreads faster than response. A system so efficient, so optimized, so perfectly balanced, that it has no room to break without breaking everything. Because the more connected something becomes, the more fragile it becomes. One failure becomes many, many become unstoppable. And in a world where billions rely on systems they cannot see, few understand how close they are to the edge. This is not accusation, it is observation, a pattern. And when patterns align, the silence grows louder, the tension grows heavier. But there is something deeper, something beneath the system, condition, a world driven by desire, endless desire, a hunger that cannot be satisfied, more success, more attention, more validation, and yet never enough. Truth becomes flexible, identity becomes unstable, meaning becomes unclear. From the outside, everything looks full, but inside, there is emptiness, a quiet emptiness, a constant movement without direction, a constant pursuit without arrival. And then, the signs begin, not collapse, but cracks, markets shaking, trust fading, systems straining, small tremors in something that once seemed unbreakable, each one ignored, each one explained, each one dismissed, until they can no longer be ignored. And then, the realization, Babylon's greatest strength is its greatest weakness, interconnection. Because when everything is connected, everything is exposed. When everything depends on the system, nothing survives its failure. Imagine a moment, sudden, without warning. Systems stop, communication goes silent, no signals, no networks, no connection. Markets freeze, transactions halt, power fails, cities go dark, airports stop, hospitals struggle, screens go black, phones stop responding, and for a moment, there is confusion, then fear, then silence. A silence so heavy, it feels unnatural, because for the first time, the system is gone, and those who depended on it can only watch. Revelation describes them standing at a distance, watching, weeping, not just for what they lost, but for how fast it happened, for how sudden it was, for how something so powerful could disappear in 1 hour, because in 1 hour everything changes. In 1 hour, everything stops. In 1 hour, the illusion collapses. Babylon does not warn the world. It does not give time to prepare. It collapses while the world is still watching, and when it happens, there will be no time to understand, no time to fix it, no time to escape it, only time to realize that everything was never as stable as it seemed. In 1 hour, the system falls. In 1 hour, the world shifts. In 1 hour, everything changes, and by the time the world understands, it is already too late.